This is The Stash, and you're listening to the Business Bottom Line Podcast, coming to you from the Jewel City of the Mountains, Greenville, Tennessee. We're in the foothills of the Smokies, talking business with people just like you who are responsible for the bottom line, sharing business tips to inspire, inform, and improve, and turn your bottom line from red to black. Okay, we have a special guest with us today, Archie Haney and his friends Colin Jr., and he's a Greene County guy, actually went to school at DeBusk and spent a large part of growing up here and has been transplanted into Hawkins County. And so we welcome him to the program, and we're going to get acquainted with what Junior does. Well, tell me how you got started in the heat and air contractor business, if you will, Junior.
Okay. It pretty much all started back in 1981. I was going to Greene County Vocational School to be a machinist, and but Hicks Sheet Metal, which was located in Greenville at the time, they had a program where they took people out of the vocational school and worked them a half a day. And so I went to work a half a day and went to school a half a day and started learning the trade. He had a lot of older gentlemen there working for him and got really a lot of good quality knowledge from those older gentlemen that I couldn't really got from any kind of schooling that I could have went to, because they had the experience and everything and the tricks of the trade. So I was very fortunate on that end, and just kind of stayed in the business and actually started my own business in 1986 when my employer there, Pete Hicks, had passed away. So just kind of been in the business a long time now, and just it's been a really good trade for me.
Yes, I know your company. We've been associated for a lot of years, and you have had a tremendous growth. So originally, now, did you just do the sheet metal part of the business when you started?
Yes, originally I did mainly just duct work and sheet metal, and at one time I probably had at least anywhere from 15 to 20 other heating and air companies that I were doing their ductwork and stuff for, because that's kind of a lost trade now. Not a lot of people in the sheet metal, and that's one thing we're fortunate with. I've got guys, and we actually still do ductwork for other heating and air companies even today that they ain't got the manpower to do it, and we do. So we still do a lot of the sheet metal work for other heating and air companies. Like I said, even today still.
I see. So somewhere along the way, you decided that you were going to do both parts of the business, and so
right.
You began to.
There was an opportunity there to just kind of do it all, and so when that kind of opened up, I just kind of started into doing the whole thing, installing the units and servicing the units, and still doing the duct work on a lot of things. So it's just kind of flourished from there since about, I don't know, we got into that maybe around the 2005, 2006, real heavy. We had been doing it prior to that, but that's when we just kind of broke out full blown and, got into it totally doing the whole package deal.
I see. Okay. Now how big of a service area do you work in now, Junior, as far as
we
home?
cover a lot of territory. We've done work from, all over East Tennessee, from up in Johnson County to Bristol to Hancock County, down Jefferson County, Cobb County, Greene County. We cover a very large area as far as that goes, because, of course, like you said, Rogersville is a small town, but to keep the growth and everything going, you have to kind of venture out a little bit, just kind of keep everything going.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Cover a large area in our business, And we have a lot of, and of course now with the internet, you have people that gets on there and finds you, and they'll call you from a little bit everywhere, and we'll go service them wherever they're calling from.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool part of the world we live in today. People can find you, and if you got a good reputation, they're wanting your services because that's what you live by is doing things correctly and well, and people still appreciate that.
And that's how I tell people, we do a little bit of advertising here and there, but my best advertising is word of mouth. When you have a satisfied customer, they'll tell their neighbor, and it gets you a lot of business that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly the best business when people tell how they feel about you and the work you do. You don't have to do a sales job on anybody; they're ready to write the check when you give them the service.
Yeah, and that's right. And I have people all the time say, "Well, so and so referred me to you." So it's a compliment, like you said, that somebody does have enough confidence in you that to tell someone else that hey, get these people to do it because they do good work.
Absolutely, it is. So now, do you do both residential and commercial systems?
Yes, and on the commercial end, we do light commercial. We don't do a lot of big stuff. We just got through putting a unit on a bank here in Rogersville. It was a 7.5 ton. We'll do up to maybe about a 15-ton unit, sometimes maybe a 20-ton, but nothing really large. But we do light commercial work, which, when it comes around, we don't push that as heavy as we do our residential stuff. But we do occasionally get an opportunity to do some stuff like that.
Right. Okay. All right. So I know that you probably don't work, but maybe like 9 to 3 every day. Tell us what a day in the life of Junior Haney looks like.
Well, it starts out early in the morning. I'm up between 6 and 6:30 and get started, and then. My guys, they come in at 8 o'clock, but if I have stuff I need to make up or have ready for them, I'll come on in the shop and start making it up. And we work, 8-hour day generally, but after that 8-hour day, if we got service to pick up or whatever, I'm running it after hours, or then when I get home, there's jobs to figure and things like that, bills to figure out to send out. So it's a pretty long day generally. And weekends, I have people ask me, said, "Do you not have anybody who works for you?" And I said, "Yeah," but I said, "They work really hard for me 5 days a week." And then I said, "Unless I just have to have them, I let them have the weekend off because I've got a great bunch of guys. And like I said, they work really hard for me Monday through Friday, and they'll work Saturday or Sunday for me too if I have to have them. But generally speaking, service work, that's what is on the weekend. I believe I worked every holiday there is. Somebody's hired on the 4th of July is not working, or somebody's heat on Christmas Day is not working. So, I don't know of any holidays I'm not being out on to, try to help people out, as much as you can. So it can be a long day, and some people don't realize that, especially when you get a young employee who thinks, well, like you said, you get to work a few hours and you go home, but it's not that way. And there's something, and when you own your own business, there's something all the time that needs to be addressed, seems like,
That is so true, Junior, and the perception of that from the outside, even sometimes from your own people, your own staff, they don't see all that paperwork, like you say, preparation, and all the bills that have to be paid. Sometimes people think, man, all that money coming in, you must just be rolling in it. They don't see the bills, do they?
That right there is one of the funniest things from somebody that's not had that knowledge of the business, and they're thinking, because, heat pumps are not cheap. They're expensive and they cost a lot of money. But all that money you're getting sure don't go in your pocket.
That's true. And in addition to that, you got to lay out money before you get paid, don't you?
Yes, you do.
So cash flow is tough.
Yeah, cash flow, and that, me being in the business as long as I have, I guess even now, if you get a big job or something other, it still kind of sometimes gets crunchy. Trying to juggle the money situation around. Like kind of like I guess the old saying, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. So you're kind of, trying to make everything work.
Yes, that's true, and that's stressful sometimes, and also takes a thought process that's in addition to all the other stuff you do.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it is. Well, what do you feel like one of the biggest challenges in your work? You mentioned your people, and I tell you when. And I hear this a lot from the clients that I work with. We have great staff, and you've said that how wonderful that is to have people that want to work and they show up and they give you their best. Not everybody can say that in today's world because staffing a business is tough in this world.
Oh yeah, and the whole key to everything is me as a one person. Your business is only as good as your staff is.
Right.
Because they're like my face out there when they're working. They may, if they do something wrong, it's going to come back to me, but they're out there, more so I may take them to a job site and introduce them to the homeowner, and they may be there 2 or 3 days with the homeowner, interacting with them and stuff, and putting in the unit and the ductwork and everything. So, I am really blessed to have the personnel I have because they conduct themselves and treat every job like it was their business and, their reputation online. Because, in essence, if I've got bad quality people working, there's nobody going to call me back to do anything.
Right.
So I'm really fortunate to have the staffing, and I have guys that's been with me 15 plus years, and I have some newer guys that's been with me 4 to 6 years, but they all take a hold of that you need to do your best while you're out there, do the best job you can. And that, that's all you can ask of them.
Well, that's right. And that honest effort and taking pride in what you do, clients, customers, they know that, they can see that, and that's why they refer you to other people.
And I've multiple times when I've gone back and made sure the job they were satisfied, they would brag on my men. I mean, they would just brag. And I said, I appreciate that. I said, I will tell them when I get back because that helps them too to know that they are appreciated.
Absolutely. I was taught years ago that if you're going to brag on someone, do it in public. And if you have to dress them down, do it in private.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of difference in letting your people know that they're appreciated. And when you get compliments, passing them along like that, it makes a lot of difference. And it makes them want to do better next time. Right.
And, being a small company, I can only, I don't have unlimited resources. So I give them what I can and do what I can for them. It'd be great to be able to pay everybody $100 an hour and give them, 5 weeks vacation, but in a small business, it's not really, you can't really do a lot, but you do what you can for them.
Right. Yeah. Well, obviously, you're doing a good job at that because otherwise you wouldn't have people that's been there 15 years and new ones coming on. So that reflects how you appreciate them and how you treat them.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this after we've talked about that, because a lot of people put that in this question I'm going to ask. What's the biggest challenge that you face for your business in the future, at least the way you see it? Is it people, technology, competitors? What do you feel like is one of your big challenge or the biggest going forward?
Well, I guess as the future holds, it's everything's changing. We done went through a phase where they phased out one kind of Freon that we used to use, and we brought on the other one because the old stuff wasn't environmentally friendly. Now they're saying the new stuff's not environmentally friendly, so we've got to change again.
Oh, really?
in our world today, and I want my great grandchildren to have a world that they can live in too. But there's a constant change in the way we do the technology, like you said, the equipment that we're using, because the new stuff is going to have a little bit of propane in it, and it's a constant change in equipment and stuff, the heat pumps and stuff that we put in. And the biggest thing too is, it maybe not for me in the near future, if I stay in it long, before I retire, but it is like the growth of the newer people coming in to have the technology to learn this, or even want to learn it, because nowadays you don't have a lot of the younger generation even wanting to go into a skilled trade. It's more so, and because this is not a glamorous job. I mean, we may be up in an attic in the middle of summer, and it may be 140 degrees up there. Or we may be in a crawl space that's about 2 foot tall, walling on our belly to put work in the middle of the winter time. So it's not a glamorous job. So, it's one of those things where the more younger generation don't want to do this. It's going to be hard for anybody to, if I retired, or if I sold the business, when I do retire or whatever, it's going to be hard for them to, maybe bring in people to keep doing this or whatever. So I think, and it may not be, it's not something that's just going to happen overnight. It may be 10, 15 years from now, but but with the world nowadays, things just constantly changing.
That's true. That's true. That is a huge challenge. And, of course, not people might not think about someone in the heat and air business having to constantly study and stay up on systems, but there's a lot of technological changes, and you're right, it doesn't stop. So it's a constant thing. And if you don't keep up with those, you don't know how to do the things that you're being asked to do every day.
Right. You get, and if you're not up to date, and I've actually went through this with, when I first got started, some of the older gentlemen, they said, and things was even changing back then, and they were up in age, and they were saying, I don't even fool with trying to change nothing else. I'm just going to, I'm retiring. I'm getting out of it, because especially this lifetime, when all the Freon and stuff was changed that time, it was like it was such a headache. So it makes people think, well, I just don't want to fool with it no more.
Yeah.
But because there's something all the time, I'm constantly going to classes on new equipment and everything that they're bringing out. Just because if you don't keep up to date with it, you'll get left behind very quickly.
Right. I could see how that's true. Well, one of the things that I like to ask people, and I think this one's kind of obvious in your case, and some business it isn't, but how does what you do help others?
How's it help others?
Yeah.
Well, I think any type of service business, whether it be the heat and air business, being an electrician or a plumber or anything, the times that I go out to houses that, you got elderly people that don't have no heat, or, elderly people that's on oxygen, don't have no air conditioning, and you go out there and you help them out, you get their air running, you get their heat going. I mean, it's like an accomplishment to you that, you see that you have made them, you've done something for them that they need. It's not you've done anything that was not of a necessity, because, you take someone that, and I've seen it over and over, that someone that is sick and maybe have breathing problems, and it's 95 degrees outside, they can't breathe in their house without the air conditioning running. And, that's why I went out on holidays, and I went out, at nighttime or all the time, to help them out. I mean, it not only it is a job, but you do feel an accomplishment in doing that for them, and that you helped them out, that you got them out of a bind,
Yeah. That's such a good point, because often we think about things like heating and air, especially those things, as being a comfort. It's like we all want to be comfortable, and we do. I mean, I I like the temperature to stay within a certain range, but the truth is sometimes you're helping people in a very critical situation.
Yes.
Yeah. That's okay.
You have somebody, if it's 20 degrees outside and they come in, their heat's gone out. You try to get out there and try to get them some heat on, because you wouldn't want you or your family member to be in that situation, when it's cold and you have no way of generating any other kind of heat. You don't have no backup heat. You don't have a fireplace. You don't have nothing to supplement anything. So it kind of, it gets you people, like I said, it's not really, you think of it as a comfort, but nowadays it's things that we need. We need heat, we need air conditioning, because it is hot outside and the humidity and everything in our area. So it's not like they're calling and just wanting something that they can do without for right now.
Yeah.
A lot of times they do need their heat on or their air conditioning back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to back up just a minute, and I'm going to put a little spacer in here because something happened to my equipment when we first got started. So the part that I wanted you to go back and get for me, and I'll cut this back in after we're through, is a little bit about when you got into the business, and give me a little bit more about your family, because I know you said you did have a grandchild. So kind of tell me a little bit about the family, and then I'll add that back on when we on my recording, because it didn't come out right.
Okay. Of course, I was born in Greene County and went to school there, and went to the Bus Elementary School and Otway Elementary, and graduated from North Greene High School. Got married at a young age and had a child at a young age. But I've got a son and a daughter, and my daughter has a granddaughter, or a girl, my granddaughter, and but I've been married all my life. Of course, I'm one of the, like a lot of people, I got divorced, but my wife now. I've got two great stepdaughters. They're wonderful. Got 6 grandchildren there.
Oh, my goodness.
With those. So I've got a total of 7 grandkids.
Ooh,
and
wow.
we just now recently got a great grandson. He's 4 months old. So,
oh, my goodness. Now that's special.
Yes, it is. He's great. I got to see him a lot Sunday, went out and eat with him and stuff, and got to hold him and play with him. And so it's great having grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Yes, we had our first great-grandchild last year. He's going to be a year old here in about 2 weeks. So that's special stuff. Yeah, it is.
It is. I love it. I like kids, though. That's one of my. I really like children. I guess because I'm still I guess my wife would tell you I'm just a child at heart, because I'll get down on the floor and play with them and everything else. I really love children.
Well, that is good, and I don't really understand people that don't love children. There's a lot of people in our culture today that don't, but they are such blessings from God, and they enrich our lives in ways that we can never imagine until they're there.
Yes, they do.
Well, I'm going to put a pause here, and I'll give you a chance to think about this for a minute. You may already have, but I always ask people at the end of the broadcast what is your best bottom line business tip? Because the reason we're here is to try to help business owners improve, and maybe somebody that's getting ready to start a business, give them a tip that gives them a leg up. So what is your best bottom line business tip?
I guess in the field that I'm in right now, I think in the heating and air business, I guess the best thing I could tell anybody that was going to do it is to, when you go out and meet your customer and you're going to provide the service for them, is to give them what you would want. Somebody that, if you go out to a little lady's house, that there's so many times people takes advantage of other people in a bad situation, where their heating air is down, they know it, they can they can really do whatever and sell them whatever, do whatever. So what I would say is, if you treat every customer like you would want to be treated, or you think of them as, that might be my grandmother out there that somebody's coming to their house, I don't want them taking advantage of her. So treat everybody fairly and like you want to be treated, and your business will prosper, because that will come back and it'll just flourish your business, because people will say, hey, they did not take advantage of my mother. They did not take advantage of me. They treated me fairly. They treated me, they give me a product that was reasonably priced. So, I see people trying to overprice or whatever. We're in business. We have to make a living. I tell people that I have to make a living, or I might as well just stay at the house. But you treat people fairly and treat them like you would want yourself to be treated. Yep. And you will have a good business, and you will prosper.
Yeah, that's a great tip, Junior. And it's just honest, down to earth. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate you taking time here at the end of your day. I know you've worked hard. Thanks for taking time to be with us on the podcast, and I'm sure it will help someone else who's listening to be encouraged and to approach their business in the right way. We appreciate it a lot, Junior.
All right. I thank you for asking me. I appreciate it.
Okay. You take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. See you.
Well, that's a wrap for today's Business Bottom Line podcast. Take that tip and make your bottom line turn from red to black. Next week, we'll talk with another special guest, and we'll see you right here next time in the Jewel City of the Mountains, Greenville, Tennessee. This is the Stash saying we're here to inspire, inform, and improve your bottom line so you can grow, grow, grow.